peaceful revolution impossible.
Those who make peaceful revolution impossible make violent revolution inevitable.
And dude, there's a lot of truth in that, man. And the same goes in the other direction. And here's the thing. That's what you said. That is what is scary about Donald Trump, is the precedent it sets.
Yep.
Because politics is always a personality game, but him being in office truly makes it a cult of personality about who gets elected president. And like you say, we get somebody in 4 years, 8 years, even maybe it'll be 12 years, that has the same sort of like caricature as Donald Trump. But it's actually, the caricature that Donald Trump has is legitimately himself. It's his ego in full expression. But we could get somebody who, he just changed the game about what can be done to be president. You get somebody who has perfected that caricature, but underneath, he's either a theocrat or like genuinely a national socialist fascist that has this vision of America where those camps on the borders that were locking up children, separating children from their families and all that stuff actually become genuine. Like, dude, it can happen. Yeah. And you'll have the vote of evangelicals, and you'll have enough people that are either too scared to do anything or too dumb to even think anything's going on.
Yep.
And it just...
Because we have the propaganda machines in place to help push for it.
It's all there. It's already all there, man. And it's scary to see how it could go. And, dude, two things about where this has already happened in history. And I know people are sick of hearing... Okay, and I know people are sick about hearing, you know, how Donald Trump is Hitler and shit like this. But in the Weimar Republic... after World War I, when Germany was going through all this shit, their economy was in the tubes and the stock market crashed and it was even worse. And we started to see people, not just like Hitler, but all these different like radical people of character, start to gain and consolidate power within the Weimar Republic because of all the issues, right? There were people that were so desperately upset. They had no money, they had no home, there was no jobs, there was no hope. And then these characters like Hitler that were not the establishment, they were the opposite of the establishment. People believed them. Oh, this person seems genuine, and they gravitated to them. And then it created this divisiveness, this polarization, which got worse and worse and worse and worse, which inevitably ended up leading to violent clashes between communists or the National Socialists or even the people that wanted to go back to having a king. And it just created this environment of toxicity and polarity that ended up culminating with the election of Adolf Hitler as a form of appeasement. And then it keeps going, it steamrolls, people buy into it, and then you end up in a catastrophic state where you pretty much have a dictatorship. This shit didn't happen just overnight. It took all these different factors, the same similar factors that we're seeing here now, and decades of shit not getting done on the end of the working class.
And we just got so many people that will help usher it in willingly.
I know, man. I know. That's the dangerous part of this polarization. And people blame us for being polarizing. Dude, meanwhile, we're the fucking voices of reason in this shit, dude. Like, we're just saying, like, here's what we need to do if we don't want it to come to violent revolution or authoritarianism. Dude, I am a Marxist, and I am a socialist, and I believe in those ideals. But you know what I believe in more? I believe in the peaceful transition of power in gradualism. And despite what people think about us being radical or fucking Jesus Christ flipping the table of the money changers in the temple, no, we're just like, hey, this is going a bad direction. Let's raise it in here a little bit.
It's so small.
Dude, it is. Seriously.
And it has no power in the Sanders movement. It just doesn't. It's a very I went down on that bus to DC with like actual more radical.
Yeah.
Like a guy was wearing a fucking
Mao Zedong.
Hat. Dude, those people are nothing. I don't know.
But dude, here's the thing, and you know what? I have interacted with many communists, and look, dude, not all of them are batshit.
Yeah, some of them are bad.
Some of them are. Okay? Like, where they straight up idolize certain communist leaders that did horrible things.
Yeah.
Now, look, in regards to Mao Zedong or even Stalin and shit, I'm willing to look at them with a nuanced view and, like, understand why they did what they did. I'm not going to sit here, especially when you put them side by side with our own war crimes and atrocities and bullshit. I'm not going to be like, oh, but we're... You know, to me, it's the same game, right?
Yep.
But there are communists, and I've had conversations with them where they don't believe in violent revolution. They believe in Bernie's movement because they vision a long game, a future as technology continues to come along, and we increasingly do more socialist policies where not even in 100 years, but 200, 300 years, we reach a point where society will just naturally act in a more communist fashion, where we have elections to decide how things are done in the economy and nobody has to go without. And I think that's a beautiful image, and I support them in that, and I view them as allies. Here I am giving this epic speech, and then, but the thing is, there are the fucking wackos on that end, and this is what I'm talking about with polarization, where if we keep getting fucked like this, and when all we're trying to do is literally, what are we trying to do, Johnny? Is save the infrastructure of the system.
Yeah.
Because we still kind of believe it could maybe work.
Maybe we should just burn it all the fuck down.
Well, that's how it starts to feel after a little while.
Yeah.
But the danger of that, of us not, and we talked about at the end of the last podcast, of not giving a dog a bone. If you don't give the dog a bone, eventually he's going to rip your fucking hand off.
Yeah, I mean, if I was...
We're lining, taking the divine to spend a little time at mine.